Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and this is episode 228.
228 of these things. Can you believe that?
Since 2018, and it's so funny because when we first actually started this, we went to On Air Media thinking that they were pitching us to be on a show, and then in the end, it was them saying, hey, why don't you buy a show from us?
Why don't you buy studio time and do a show?
And look at us, you know, it is amazing. You know, Jeff, last week we did that zip code announcement where we did 75229, and we had so much great feedback from that. You actually had someone approach you at the pool to talk about that.
I sure did. They said they were very, very impressed by the quality of the data that was there. And they live in that zip code, so they, you know, it really did mean something to them.
And it's so interesting now because we were able to put it on both Instagram, Facebook, and we threw it out on LinkedIn. So if you didn't see it, let us know. And if you did see it and you want to know about a different zip code, those stats, let us know. It is easy for us to crank that out. And I think we're actually jumping in and going to go to the studio and do that again tomorrow afternoon, right?
Yep, sure.
So we'll see how that gets cranked out. And what else? We had a huge weekend. It was Memorial Day.
We did. Yeah, I was.
You were a social buddy.
I was pool soaked by the end of the weekend.
That's awesome. I think I played pickleball 3 or 4 times, and I worked in the studio, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Our pool is still not warm enough, Jeff. Our pool is ice.
It's funny. The first 2 pool parties that I went to, both had heated the pool a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, I think, was heated a little bit too much because there was too much temperature difference. When you got out and you were really cold. The other one was still a little chilled when you got in, but, you know, it was warmer than it probably was naturally. So anyway, great time. Third one was not chilled at all. Of course, the man that owns that one is, you know, he goes swimming in his pool in November. So, yeah.
You know what else is warming up a little bit?
What?
The markets. So let's take a look at the market watch. So what we like to do is take and look at the last 30 days here in Dallas County and compare them to the previous 7 days. And so we can really get a handle on what's happening versus just comparing and looking at national averages. So we'll talk about coming soons. Coming soons is actually a field that is in MLS. It's not required, but it's a way to signal to other realtors. It doesn't show up on any other websites that there is a house coming on. And it's a good way to kind of get ahead of things. That's up 9%, which is pretty great. New activity is up 3%, 410 this week. And that's really interesting given the fact that we also had the holiday in there. And then option period is down. We would expect to see options going down just for the lack of people that are actually writing contracts. And that's down 20% to 319 units.
And in the pending side of it, the number of pending properties in Dallas County went down last week to 142. That's down about 15% from the week before. And then solds are down about 11%, which I, kind of expect because today and tomorrow are the last days of the month, and that's really when most of the closings occur. Those were down 11%. And then when I went and looked at check interest rates, I went to the Optimal Blue website. They're an aggregator of mortgage data, and they kind of show you the average of what people are being charged with new mortgages, and it is up just a bit to 6.711. That is, I think we're going to see that volatility in that until the Congress gets its debt ceiling issue resolved.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. We'll see how this plays itself out. Well, that's a lot of great information. And one of the things, just like when we do zip codes, we can also farm this information and dial it into an area that you're thinking about buying into, the current one that you live in, and get that information to you so that you have the best information. So making the best decision is easy for you. So without further ado, let's take a look at 2722 Hondo Avenue. This is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage. It's almost 2,000 square feet. And it is priced at $599,999. I got all the nines in there.
You did. And this is a really great location for a property. It is very centrally located. There are walkable entertainment districts all around that. You can walk to food. You can walk to, probably walk to live music somewhere there.
Yeah.
This is also not very far from where the Grapevine Bar is moving.
I know. Big news on that. That just came out last week. If you're not from Dallas, Grapevine is a historic bar and they have found a new home, which is really great. The other thing about this area is a lot of times people are saying, where should I buy? Where do I have appreciation? And this could be one of those properties that you buy now at this price and have plenty of room to make money on the house. Again, as Jeff was saying, it's great for commuting, and also if you're needing to get to the Love Field Airport, this is just around the corner from there.
It's also right up the street from the Market Center dark rail station.
That's true.
Which, once you get on dark rail, I know we talk about that all the time, but once you get on dark rail, you can go pretty much anywhere you want in the DFW Metroplex, except Arlington.
Except Arlington. One of the things that we love about this little area of town is Oishi. And Oishi is a little neighborhood sushi bar. The pictures of this one are actually from the SMU one, but the one that's over here on Wycliffe is amazing. It was the original one. One of the favorite things that I get over there is the Tribeca roll. It also has really great pho and hot food. I will tell you one of the things that they always do, I feel like, because it is so popular right now, is they way overquote the wait. And so they may tell you it's 2 hours and it really may only take like 40 minutes. But they have really great sake on tap, so definitely one to go check out.
I think a lot of restaurants do that because they want to scare away the ones that aren't really super serious about eating in the restaurant.
Oh, that infuriates me because at the end of it, like we had dinner one time and I looked down at my watch and it was just at the 2 hour mark and they had cleared the lobby because they had told everybody it was so long. And I thought, well, there's no more sales happening because you've cleared the lobby.
There you go.
So
the other thing we wanted to point out is this is only 5 minutes from UT Southwestern. So if you are anyone associated with the medical field and you work either UT Southwestern, Lipshe, Parkland Hospital, this is a perfect location for you to be in.
And last but not least, the Perot Museum of Nature and Science. This is a gem that is actually a little further away, but it's still within that uptown area. One of the things that we wanted to point out is that they have Thursday on Taps. And Thursday on Tap is for 21 and older. Tickets are $25 if you're a non-member, $5 if you are a member. But they have a really great setup, and they're really focusing this summer on behind the scenes of Pixar, which is a really interesting thing. I think with all the technology, we just had, what was it? The Little Mermaid that became live action is the #1 show in the world right now. It's just done amazing things. And so this is a really great way to see what's happening behind it in a really amazing venue.
And they do, on Thursday nights, they do food trucks. They have live music outside. And then once you come into the museum, you have all of these really great curated exhibits that are, they're fascinating even to people my age.
And what's interesting here is there was the actual kind of like list of participants. It changes from week to week, so it's not like you get bored with the same thing. So if you happen to do it more than once, it would be new each time. So take a look at those. They're wonderful. They're great. And now without further ado, let's talk about 2722 Hondo Avenue.
So this is a really, I just love the drive up on this. You've got lots of parking there, lots of parking for guests. You can see that the gate is open down the right side, and you have this really expansive outdoor space that we'll talk about in a minute. But as you come in that front door, behind you is a stairwell that goes up, but you're also just orienting to the right a bit, and there is the kitchen.
And I like that this developer thought about putting everything in place. And so we just saw that kitchen actually comes with a refrigerator. Nice appliances also included. They did a great job of keeping the counter space clear here and putting the actual microwave in the more of a cabinet scenario. As you see, it's a really great warm brown or a gray. And I think this is like elephant skin by Sherwin-Williams. One of the things here is they've done a great job of doing indoor to outdoor. And so these sliders are enormous. They telescope in. There's 3 of them. And it really allows you to enjoy that outdoor seating space. Then you've got a really great fireplace as well on the inside.
Yeah, and the wood floors run throughout the entire first floor, and then they go up to the landing in the second floor. But they were just beautiful, super gleaming. I like the color tone that was chosen on them. It really just kind of ties the space together.
And this is a really interesting wallpaper that was selected. It goes really nice with the wood tones in the cabinet there on the vanity. This is a really large powder bath that is downstairs, and it actually gives you access to this bedroom as well downstairs. They're set it up as an office here, but it's a really great little space if you have guests works out perfectly for this, or if you need to work from home.
And as you come upstairs, one of the things that stood out to me is this has literally 2 master bedrooms on it.
Yeah.
Both master baths have dual sinks in it. If you're talking multi-generational living that we hear so much about, this would really work well.
And moving into this house is going to be super simple for the simple fact that you've got a curtain and blinds that come all the way down. Blinds are so important that is done for you. As you see here, they were really thinking, one of the things Rob pointed out was that actual mirror has different tones on the actual light.
It was interesting because I actually went up and touched it and changed it because I thought, well, I wonder what that does. This is the other master bedroom that is really great size. Also has access to private bath. This has the same backlit type mirrors on them. I don't know if these do, I think these do have the same tone changes, but I really like how they did the shower stall in this one. I love that tile.
They did a great job with the tile selects. Actually, the selects throughout this entire house were spot on. They paid special attention and really gave you the space that you need in the master closet here. I thought that was a really great win. This shows you the front door. Now, the front door is actually on the other side of the fence gate, which I thought was a really nice element and actual security detail. Then you get this really long side patio. There are pavers that bring you up to this, and the pavers actually have turf grass in between, so there's no watering there. And then look at this.
Yeah.
Amazing turf grass.
Perfect. If you have pets, this is the perfect place for them. Low maintenance, almost no maintenance except for a blower. But really, and those trees are going to, in the future, are going to provide some really great relief on the backside of that house.
Absolutely. So this is 2722 Hondo Avenue. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage. Built in 23. It's 1950 square feet. Priced at just under $600,000. That's $314 a foot. And we want to say thank you so much to Rob Elmore for letting us feature his house.
And if there's any other pictures that you'd like to take a look at, just click in the link below. There are some that we weren't able to put in the production today. If there are any other properties out there that you would like to have information on, reach out to us. We would love to make that happen. And with that, we'll be right back. Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pew, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you missed the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. It's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi everybody, welcome to episode 228 of Sold with Updike Pew. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we wanted to talk to you about 5 reasons never to buy a home off market.
And when we talk about buying it off market, we're talking about buying for sale by owners, buying it without representation, getting into the whole thing by yourself without having some professional representation.
Those are qualifiers.
Yeah, because this is going to be, I promise you, it'll be the largest purchase you will ever make in your life. And one small snafu, and it can end up costing you quite a bit of money.
Yeah, because just that is the biggest thing, is that it's not just your home, it is the investment. And one of the first things that we want to talk about is a lot of times the home price has not been vetted by the market. And that just simply means that a lot of times these prices, like the make me move and for sale by owner signs you see, those are dream prices.
Many times they are.
That they're just like, I'll move for this. And in a market like this, you might think that, or not know what's happening, and think, hey, you know what? I will get in bed with that and I'll take a stab at it.
And it can, as I said earlier, can be very dangerous financially to do that. Um, the the other thing that we were going to talk about is market awareness. One of the things that the Texas Real Estate Commission looks very closely at now is called geographic competency. And part of the geographic competency is knowing what is going to be built on that empty lot over there. Is
Right.
that going to be, is that suddenly going to become a pig farm, or, what is the zoning in this neighborhood?
What I have seen in our neighborhood is when they don't realize what deed restrictions are also limited to. And so if you're thinking you're going to be able to buy a house and put a second story on it, there's a really good chance that going down the road, when you tear that off and you get your permit, because that doesn't mean that they've actually looked at the deed, that you could be in a situation where your neighbors halt the process. And you could be in a really ugly situation. So again, these are situations where your money can get really tied up, living can get really questionable. And as many of us know, we're not just with four-legged and two-legged dependents. I mean, could be generational.
One of the other things that we were going to point out is the repairs confirmation. And I will tell a very quick story that I think will really highlight what this issue is. We had a home that we were representing buyer on. Seller was being represented by a realtor. The seller, in almost all cases, has to provide a seller's disclosure statement that meets a certain minimum requirement to the buyer. And one of the declarations that they made on this was that all of the plumbing had been replaced with PVC pipe. And right now, in 2023, we're at the point where homes that were built in the 40s and 50s and into the 60s, those homes had cast iron pipe that was under the house, and they go all the way to the street, and it's just about to the end of the age. And so this owner saying that all of it had been replaced with PVC was a really, really big deal. We had recommended to the buyers that we go ahead and have it scoped. It cost a couple $100 to do that, and the plumber sends a little scope down through roof jacks, and they really make sure. And sure enough, this house had 2 sections on it that were still cast iron. And I don't know that the seller was trying to make make that declaration falsely, but it just wasn't 100% correct. And so our buyer was able to say, hey, you made this disclosure over here, that's not really lines up with reality, and so we'd like for you to replace those 2 sections, and they did.
It makes a huge difference. And to piggyback on that are qualified vendors. And so doing this once every 8 years, maybe is the average that people move, you don't have a working list of whether it's an engineer or whether it's the foundation company or the plumber or the pool. All of those come into play that are qualified and vetted, and not just something from a source online like an Angie's List, like that's actually vetted, that actually does repetitive business with us because they know that they're going to get more business with us.
Yes, absolutely. And again, it kind of goes back to the inspection part of it. You're even though you're probably going to have your inspection done, a lot of times this area comes into play when the inspector says, well, the air conditioner is about 20 years old. Maybe you ought to have an HVAC company look at it. And not every HVAC company will do that. Not everyone will come out and work on or do that kind of inspection thinking they're just coming out on a regular service call.
And speaking of ACs, that is getting really dangerous right now because they're about to make that conversion complete on the new systems, and it will be very difficult if your system is old to even have it updated. So
the last area was the terms of negotiation of the contract and takeoff. This is where everything gets. This is where you're sewn in. This is where you're baked, and this is where if you don't know your outs and the timelines that you need your outs, it can get really ugly. And so, even if you have some legal expertise or knowledge, just not knowing how the lever works on certain things and how to push and what can pull makes negotiating very difficult for you. At that point, you're just praying to God that you're able to get to the closing table. Yeah, and so these are just 5 of the reasons that we think it's not a really smart idea to buy something off market. There might be others. We'd love to hear your feedback on what you thought of these 5. If there are others you want to point out, certainly let us know.
And with that, Just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to